When class is in session and students are here and I get to stay in Duluth, prayer, regular, I have a set time every single day. Absolutely, I'm there. But when I'm out of town, it's hard to find time to pray. Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. If there's anything we all know, we all need to do, but we don't do, is pray. How do you pray if you're a busy person? I say, number one, let's just, first of all, be honest. Be honest about how busy you are, which is legit, but also we almost always make time for what we think is most important. This is just what we do. Now, you might be someone who's like, no, I regularly skip meals, even though I know it's important because I get so caught up in other things. Or my sleep keeps decreasing because I get so wrapped up in my work, even though I know it's really important. Yep, I get it. In those cases, work is more important than food. In my mind, at least. In those cases, my activities, whatever I was doing, was more important than getting to bed on time. And in our case, when we struggle to pray, when we're busy, we know that it is easy to prioritize other things more than taking time to spend time with God. We make time for the things that we truly believe are important. That's the first thing. Let's just be honest about that. How do I actually make it a part of my life if I'm so busy? Well, number one is look at your life. A lot of our students will say, well, back when I was in college, I had all this time, I'd make a holy hour every single day. But now I'm working from these hours to these hours and it's really intense. And I don't know if I can make it in for a whole hour, but I used to be able to do that. Great. Don't look back to what it used to be. How is it now? Or they'd say like, well, I just, someday it'll be different. Someday I'll be able to slow down. Okay, don't look ahead to what it might be. Or they might say things like, I just really want it to be different. Okay, don't look to what you want it to be. Don't look back to what it used to be or ahead to what it might be or what you might want it to be. Look at your life right now as it is. In this season of your life, what is a way that you can pray so that you actually grow closer to Jesus? Not a past season, not a future season, not an other season, but in this season of your life, what is one way you can pray that'll actually get you closer to Jesus? And the idea behind this is, if I don't plan it, I won't be able to do it. So have a plan. And I was just talking to a student the other day about this because it's summer right now, and he has this summer job that he said, I work every morning from 6 a.m. to 12:30 is when I go to bed at night. And he said, when am I going to pray? Okay, well, say that's a busy day. You got a busy life. What's your plan? Because if you just say, well, hopefully I'll pray today, you're probably not going to pray today. So what's your plan? Meaning, when am I going to pray? Where am I going to pray? And how am I going to pray? So, when am I going to pray? Every one of us needs to say, okay, this is the time. And not just this is the time on my best day, or not this is the time if I get to bed at, an abnormally early hour, but when are you actually going to pray? Number two, where? That place could be the kitchen table. As long as there's not a family surrounding you. That place could be, that the next to your bed, as long as it's not disruptive. I have a buddy who, he had a little prayer space down in their living room, which basically meant he had like a recliner, and he would sit in there. And he said every morning he would get up, and he would get up super early because his plan was, okay, this is the time I'm going to get up. I have a bunch of kids. I have to get up before them. But he said that as he walked down the hallway at like 5:15 in the morning so he could pray, just walking down the hallway would wake up one of his kids. And like, Dad, are you awake? And he's like, okay, I guess I'm not going to pray. I'm going to be with my child. So what he did was he created a prayer space in their closet. It wasn't like this massive walk-in closet. It was a small space where he could kneel down and pray in the closet where it wouldn't wake up his kids. And I thought it was interesting. So the plan is, when am I going to pray? Where am I going to pray? The third thing is, how am I going to pray? What I mean by that is, what is one way that okay, if I do this consistently, I actually get closer to the Lord. Now, I remember, seeing folks in parishes when I was assigned to parish, and they'd pray in the church and they'd have their stack of holy cards, and let's go through the holy cards, just praying the holy cards. Confession, I was a little judgy about that. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're just praying holy cards, one prayer after the other? What do I know? Maybe that was actually really significant. I know people who pray litanies one after the other, and they're actually deeply meaningful. I know people who pray the chaplet or rosary one after the other, and they're deeply impactful and deeply meaningful. So I need to correct myself before I wreck myself. That prayer could bring a person closer to the Lord. So what is the prayer that you get the sense, if I consistently do this, if I consistently pray like this, I'm going to get closer and closer to Jesus. I know him better and better. Not like every day I'm like, wow, I know him so much more. But just if I do this consistently, it'll actually help me know him and become like him more and more. That could be the prayer cards. It could be a chaplet. It could be the rosary. It could be reading scripture. Whatever it is, just choose. That's how I'm going to pray. And to be able to say, okay, my plan is when, where, and how. Here's the last thing, a little pro tip. I like this idea. I like the idea of having a ceiling. Like, this is my best day. On my best day, when I have all the time I wanted to pray, whether that be 15 minutes or 60 minutes, like, that's my best day. This is my ceiling. Like, this is the max. This is the ideal. Also have a floor, meaning, okay, on my worst day, even if everything goes wrong, even if I'm just like tearing my hair out because things are just too chaotic and there's no time whatsoever, what's my floor? What's my minimum that if at least I pray this way, I've checked in with the Lord, I spent some time with Him, and we're still connected. So have a ceiling, have that ideal. Like, this is my dream plan of when and where and how, but also decide for yourself, what's my floor? What's that thing that even on my worst day, even on my busiest day, as long as I do this, we're still connected? Because I know we're all so busy. But you and I, we can't be so busy that we neglect to do the most important thing any of us could spend our lives doing, which is getting to know God Himself, spending time with Him, and by His grace becoming like Him. Anyways, for all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name's Father Mike. God bless. Hi, my name's Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. Maybe should I do it like that? Maybe I should do it like that.
My name's Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents.
I just slow it down.
Hi, my name's Father Mike Schmitz. This is Ascension Presents.